For those of you who've heard about license plate recognition cameras and maybe wondered what they are and what they look like, I'm here in Seattle videotaping the set that's on this repo truck so you can get an idea of what they look like and a little bit about them. And this truck, like I said, belongs to a repo company. These are on the front bumper, as you can obviously tell by the GMC logo. And they're actually about 7 inches wide, 6 inches deep. And then these are being held on by magnets for magnet mount. About, I believe, 90 pounds is what the pull rate on those is for holding it to the truck. And as you see, you have two half-moon lenses on the left and the right. Those are the infrared lenses for night vision, for lighting up the camera where it's looking at. It throws an infrared light as you're going down the freeway and it passes you or you pass them. It lights up the license plate so the camera can read it. Now, the rectangular square in the center with the two round circles, the one on the left is for the camera that you use during the day. The one on the right you can use at night. And you can use either one, both, but one works better obviously than the other depending on weather conditions and stuff like that. These cameras, as you see, have a plug coming out the back of them that goes back to a data pack. It's commonly referred to as a brick, and that brick processes the camera, all the information, the license plate, and sends it to your laptop where it shows the license plate and sometimes even a variation of your license plate. If your license plate had a 0 or an O in it, but it's actually a Q, and the camera doesn't always pick up that little tail on the Q, so it'll display it and show you which one, and then you pick out the correct one. A lot of times it's not too hard to tell just by looking at the picture. The software doesn't always read what the picture shows, but it's pretty close. Now these cameras here, one is a 25-footer I believe, and another one is 16-footer, which means that it can read license plates either 25 feet away or up to 25 feet away or 16. The cameras don't look any different. It's what the data pack and the sensitivity of the camera itself is. They make them to go up to 200 feet, and a lot of cities in their highway control signs for speed limit and stuff like that, the new LED signs, use these. As you drive under them, they record your license plate and they send it for the city. Depends on the city and how their system is set up, but sends it into their database where they have it. Now even on this truck, like I said, a repo truck, they use them for people who drive by whose car might be out for repossession, failure to pay, or defaulted on their loan and they're in another part of the country. This camera can pick it up and it'll send up a warning to the laptop showing a red flashing border and showing the license plate and letting you know that, hey, somebody's looking for this. Now, the other part about this that you should know about is the fact that although the repo company or the company that's running these would have that information, if these cameras happen to scan a vehicle of somebody that they're looking for, you hear a lot about Amber Alerts and the Amber Alert system, and if your car or your van or your vehicle is been put into the system for an Amber Alert and this truck happens to scan it, it automatically goes to the FBI or whoever, Homeland Security. I prefer to call them Homeland Insecurity because we're all considered terrorists until we're proven not to be. Anyway, the camera goes into the federal database and their position, where you are, your coordinates, the GPS coordinates, show up in their system. The operator of the cameras and the system here wouldn't have access rather to that information. So there's room for a lot of abuse. Now, if this gentleman's driving down the road and somebody else, another repo company, or somebody is looking for a vehicle that his cameras happen to hit, they are sent an email. That company, rather, is sent an email. And the same thing if there was an Amber Alert out for a child that's been kidnapped, an email would automatically go to whatever agencies put it into their system to find it. And like I said, GPS coordinates comes up, tells exactly which direction you were going, what the time was, the whole 9 yards. But if another company's out there and they're looking for a car that his cameras happen to have hit, and that gentleman looks at the picture and decides he wants to buy the picture, this company gets paid. Imagine that. Now think of what it would be like if everybody that's running these cameras got paid to help find people that they consider gun owners or people who believe in the Constitution. There are so many abuses already taken place, but if you're put into the database as somebody who's a terrorist because you believe in the right to life, the right to own and bear arms, you believe in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, or you're even a Ron Paul supporter or a political party supporter that they disagree with, you can be put into the system as a terrorist. If these cameras hit it, well, then they kind of have an idea where you are, and they're going to start looking for you in that area. They'll notify their current office of whoever's put you into their database, which once you're in, you can't get out. Which is my other reason for videotaping these. I will be posting a video later on of a car that these have, or these are on rather, for the same company, and his job is to just drive around and drive through parking lots, drive through shopping malls, covered parking garages, anywhere that you can park and publicly access or go into. You drive home and park your car in an overnight parking garage. If he can get in there, he'll record your license plate because it's public information, and it goes into their database. Now, if it's a car they're looking for, it'll come up, but they only have access to the database showing the cars that they're been put out for repossession. I have to apologize for the noise. This is down in an industrial park, but it's also the approach to SeaTac Airport. And this being August 2nd, the Blue Angels are in town because we have a big festival the first Sunday of August, which is called Seafair. And they come into town and they practice twice a day for 3 days before Seafair, and that's what you just heard, was them taking off for their first practice, I believe. It's either that or they just showed up. They usually show up about Tuesday or Wednesday. Any event, getting back to this, I wanted you to have an idea as to what these look like. These can go in any vehicle. They're easy to camouflage. They do come with hard mounts if you want to hard mount them. And these are the same camera that a lot of law enforcement, these are popular with law enforcement down in Florida. In fact, in Florida, they use them if you have a parking ticket and a repo company down there, or even some tow companies run these, depending on what part of the country you're in. If your license plate gets hit and you're got several parking tickets or any kind of infraction, and you're in their database, it flags law enforcement. Again, this is in Florida, and they send somebody out to impound your car and come knock on your door at the time if they can find out where you're at, what business you're in. So anyway, thank you for watching. Again, there'll be more video updated showing you these a little bit more and some of the other vehicles they can be put on. And hopefully this has been informative. And again, I apologize for the noise, and thanks for watching.